Ladies and gentlemen, let me have your attention, please. Thank you. Today is the first step in kind of a process to try to prepare you for what you're going to do about a year from now, when you are the graduating class, when it's the class of 2012 and not the class of 2011 as it is now. I will say this, we do not have complete results from the testing that you did earlier this spring. But from every indication that we have so far, you did a great job with that. You did an excellent job with that. So I want to congratulate you on that in advance, because I'm confident that those numbers are going to be very, very good. And I say that not just for the sake of the school, but for the sake of you individually, because that opens doors for you. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about college, but as we do that, keep in mind that the things that we talk about with universities are also applicable to other venues that are going to be open to you. So this is the first step in a process where we ask you to seriously consider what is it that you'll be doing about a year from now. And that there are a number of options. Our first option that we talk about always is college admission, because we know that's important, and that's what you're going to hear about today. But we want you to pay close attention and to discern what kind of direction are you going to take. We're looking forward to next year when you will be the leaders of the school. We know that you're fully capable of that. We know that you have those gifts and talents. And of course, we're relying upon that. So at this point, I would ask you to give your complete attention, just as you have done for me, and I appreciate that, to Mrs. Groff and to our speaker for the morning. So please do that, and please welcome her as well.
Okay, guys. I'm just going to cover a couple of brief points, and then I'm going to turn it over to our speaker today, who's going to give you some real specific information about the college process. But a couple of things I just want you to be aware of. Regardless of what your plans are, if you're not thinking, you're going to go to a four-year college right out of high school, that's okay. If you're thinking community college, you're thinking maybe you want to get into the trades, maybe you want to go to cosmetology school, maybe you're just going to start working after high school. Whatever that is, you need to start planning for that now. So I don't want you to feel like this isn't relevant to you, because it is, this information today, and regardless of what your plans are, you need to see your counselor to figure out what the next steps are, okay? We have a college fair coming up next Wednesday night. It's in the old gym at 6:30. There's going to be about 35 to 45 colleges, tech schools, military representatives, cosmetology schools. A lot of different representatives will be here to give you guys information. So if you can stop by, it's casual. You're just walking around getting the information that you want, so you can stay as long as you want or leave as quickly as you want. But that's a really good option for you guys. And then in the fall, we have schools and tech schools and military personnel that will be here in the fall to visit with you as well. So that's another way to get some information. Students who are thinking you might want to play a sport in college at a Division I or Division II school, you need to know that you need to be registered with the NCAA. You need to go onto their website and register with them, and then check the approved courses, what you're required to take, make sure you are in good shape to be eligible to play. And if you're not sure what you need to do with that, see your counselor and we can point you in that direction. But if you're not registered, by the end of your junior year, it's going to be really difficult to be eligible for a D1 or D2 school. So you need to know that too, just a reminder. Okay. So what I want to to do now is introduce our presenter. Our presenter is Gwen Thomas, and as you can see, she's the Assistant Director of Admissions for Western Michigan University. We always tally the number of applications that were sent to the different colleges from our current class. And for the class of 2011, Western Michigan was in the top 10 colleges applied to. And when you guys leave here today, you're going to get this handout. It's on the table, so don't leave without it. It's got all the specific information on the college app process and how it begins now, what you need to do over the summer, and what you need to be prepared for in the fall when you start to fill out your college application. So we'll give a copy of this to you. But Ms. Thomas is going to speak specifically about the admissions process. She's going to tell you a little bit about Western, but she's going to tell you about the college application process as well. So it's applicable even if Western isn't a school that you're considering at this point. So I'm going to trust that you're all going to be attentive and polite, just how you have been for me, for Ms. Thomas. So let's welcome her.
Thank you, Mrs. Groth. It's indeed a pleasure to be here this morning. So, junior class, in a few months you're about to be seniors, right? Yeah, all right, let's hear it. How cool is that, right? Gonna be kings and queens of the hills. Okay, all right. So, I know not everybody is planning on going to college, but let me see a show of hands of those of you who are planning on going to college. Okay, there's quite a few of you, okay. How many of you are looking at the military? Okay, trade schools, vocational schools? Okay, very good. Because as you know, in the state, it's going to be a little difficult to try to get those well-paying jobs without some kind of training beyond high school. I'm here to represent Western, but I also want to talk a little bit about the application process as a whole. Most schools will tell you that September is a good time to apply. Now, some schools will have something called an early acceptance. I know Michigan State has that. For us at Western, you can actually start applying June 1. Our online application would be available during that time. So if whatever school you're looking at, go to their website, go to the admissions homepage. That will tell you if they have a deadline in terms of when to get that application in. Because if they have that deadline, you don't want to miss that. Then your chances of actually getting in could diminish. Now, some schools have what they call a wait list or deferred admission. I think you need to check that out as well. So that if you are on that school's wait list, you have a backup plan. So if you're looking at a particular school and you get a letter and says you've been waitlisted or we've deferred your admission, then you want to also then look at certain other schools. Typically, if you can narrow the schools that you apply to down to 5, by the time you're ready to apply those schools, then that would be good. And I only say that because every school has an application fee. At Western, ours is $35. I believe Michigan State charges $50. I think U of M is close to about $70, $75. So you want to kind of take that into consideration when you're applying to schools. Now, some schools, it depends. Western, we look at your 9th through 11th grade. Okay, so the fact that you're still doing good work in 11th grade is good. As a matter of fact, you should continue that work. It is important to also do well in your senior year because all schools have to review final grades. So that means that we're going to be looking at your senior year work. And we're going to be looking at that senior year work because we want to make sure that you didn't take your senior year off, that you didn't get this most dreaded disease known as senioritis, okay? It strikes many times right after you get admitted to the university or college of your choice. So it is important that even if you get admitted to the school of your choice, that you continue to work hard that senior year because of the review of final grades. Now, Western, we're going to take into account your 9th through 11th grades. Now, maybe you didn't do so well in the 9th grade, but since then, your grades have gone up. That's what we call a positive trend. Maybe you've been what we call our steady Eddie kind of student, and your grades have been pretty steady, and they've been well above the 2.5 mark. Then again, that's what we call a positive trend. You want to stay away from being up one semester down the next. Some schools will only look at the 10th and 11th, and again, to know these options, you need to go to the web page, Go to their admission site, and they can let you know what they'll be looking for in terms of that. Grade point average for us is very important. What you've done in the classroom. Have you turned in your assignments on time? Have you done the work that's necessary? Have you studied to get the grades that you need to be successful? Those are the things we're looking at with that grade point average, and that's what that will tell us. Next, we're going to be looking at the standardized test score. Western accepts both the ACT and the SAT, and I think you will find that most of the universities and colleges here in the state and out of state will do the same. But again, if you're looking at out of state, that can change drastically, so you want to go to that website. The average on our campus is a 22. The average grade point average is a 3.3. Does everybody have to have a 22 and a 3.3? Absolutely not. But that is the measuring stick by which we look. Next, we're going to look at the types of courses that you've taken. We think it's very important that you be following a college prep curriculum, which means 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 3 years of a natural science, 3 years of a social science, and 2 years of a foreign language. Again, is this etched in stone? No, it's just highly recommended, okay? And then lastly, we're going to be looking, like I said, at that trend of grades to see how you've been doing. So if you're doing an upward trend, again, that's going to be very positive for us. Now, I know they offer honor and AP courses here at Milford, correct? Are some of you enrolled in some? Good, very good, okay. Well, the good news here is at Western, if you get at least a C in that honors or AP course, we're going to bump it up to a B. Your B will go to an A, your A will get you an extra honors point. So we are going to reward you for taking the more difficult courses, challenging yourself, okay? So cool, all right. So basically, we do not have an admissions deadline. We have what they call a rolling admissions policy, meaning you can apply at any time. However, we do have a scholarship called Medallion. And if you want to be eligible for that, then you need to get your application in by the first Friday in December. So that you can be eligible. That's a $50,000 scholarship, by the way. Now, you do have to compete for that, but you want to be eligible. So if you have a 3.7 and a 26 at the end of your junior year, you would be eligible to compete for our Medallion Scholarship. We'll be choosing 20 of those, and if you don't get the medallion, you'll automatically get a Dean's Scholarship. So, the most important thing is about trying to find that good fit. Now, there are 15 public universities in the state. There are a number of private schools as well. Plus, you have the whole country to choose from. But the most important thing is finding that place where you think that you could spend 4 years. The best way to do that, go on the website first. If you've narrowed down your choices, look at the website, see what it has to offer, and then that second part, get on the campus. It is very, very important that you visit any college or university that you're thinking of going to. You want to see if it's going to be a good fit for you. If you like a country setting, then you probably don't want to be in an urban area. If you like an urban area, then you probably don't want to be in a country setting. So you're going to need to get on the campus, get a feel, and as you're walking around taking that tour, ask yourself, could I see myself here for 4 years? If the answer is yes, then you want to continue to do your research and see if that's going to be the best fit for you. You want to go where you're going to be successful. Now, as I mentioned, we have a number of public and private schools in the state. We also have a number of community colleges as well. And you will find that every university in the state works very closely with the community colleges. So if you decide you want to go to OCC for a year or 2 years and then transfer, you could go on our website, you could go on MSU's website, you could go to U of M's website, and there would be a list of courses that you could take at the community college that would transfer in to that 4-year college or university. So we know with the economy being tight like it is, a lot of students are starting at the community college. Some are not able because of their grades or GPA, grades or ACT score, to get into the college or university of their choice. And if that does happen, again, we recommend usually a year at the community college. But for those of you who want to start there and then transfer, that's fine as well. We also offer a number of transfer scholarships for those students who are looking to transfer after attending a community college. Now, some will go for 2 years and get their associate's degree, but you can also do something called the macro agreement. And what that says is that if I go to the community college for 2 years and I follow this list of courses, that when I get to that college or university's campus, I have taken all of my lower level general education courses. So your lower level math and science and history and humanities will be out of the way. And all you'll have to do once you get to that college campus is take the upper level courses and those courses that are required for your major. So you want to keep that in mind if in fact you're thinking of starting at the community college. Certainly nothing wrong with that at all. So if I were to poll some of you today, how many could tell me what you want to major in? Okay, holler out a few things. Culinary? Okay, what else? Marketing, okay. What else? Nursing, okay. Anybody else?
Forensic science.
Political science, okay. What else? Didn't hear you. Okay. Okay, that's fine. All right. Okay. Well, I want to point out a little bit about what Western has to offer, because that's something that also might play a role in your determining where it is you want to go. If you're a student who doesn't know what they want to major in, then you want to choose a college or university that offers a lot of programs. We have over 230 different majors and programs through the graduate level. So that's a lot to choose from. So again, even if you think you know what you want to major in, sometimes students get to the college campus and find out that's not the program for them after all. The stats say that the average college student changed their mind at least twice. So if you can come at least prepared with some ideas of what you think you might want to do, then we can always work with you to help you get to that decision. So there are, like as I mentioned, there are a number of universities in the country, and Western is one of the, but there are fewer than 200 research universities. Western happens to be one of them. Now in the state of Michigan, you have 5 research universities. The University of Michigan, Michigan State, Wayne State, Michigan Tech, and Western Michigan University. And what that means to you is an opportunity to do research at the undergraduate level. You don't have to wait till you're working in a graduate program. One of the things we came up with at Western was the biodiesel. We took used cooking grease, we turned it into a viable fuel, and our city buses are running on that right now. So those are the kind of things that you'll be able to work on, and it's across the board. Any major can get involved in a research opportunity. We're also working with the chemistry department on studying diabetes and ways to counteract diabetes too. So these are things that you can get involved in while you're working on your bachelor's degree. We also Phi Beta Kappa, that is the national honorary fraternity. We, again, are one of 5 universities in the state that have that. So again, if you're an honor student and want to continue that, again, you can come to Western and get involved in that. And as you can see, we are also one of the wireless universities. So anything outside of your residence hall, you'll be able, like if it's a good day, that 85-degree summer day that we had a couple of weeks ago that we sometimes don't even realize we had, you could take your laptop out and open it up and access the internet. Okay. All right. The College of Arts and Sciences is the largest college on our campus. It is also the only one that has a foreign language requirement. So in order to graduate from the College of Arts and Sciences, you would need to do 2 years of a foreign language. Now, you could do that at the high school level. If in your second year or your third year, you got a B or better, you satisfy the requirement for foreign language. Now, let's say that perhaps you only could get a C in the foreign language. We do offer a foreign language placement test to see if you can place out of it. Otherwise, you just have to take 2 semesters at Western in order to graduate from the College of Arts and Sciences. So it's not going to keep you from being admitted, but if you're looking at anything in the natural sciences, the social sciences, pre-law, pre-med, pre-dentistry, criminal justice, psychology, any of those programs that are housed there, you have to show that proficiency. Okay? Next would be the College of Aviation. We have the only comprehensive aviation program here in the state of Michigan, meaning we have everything. You'll learn to fly right on our campus. We have what they call Cirrus planes that are kind of like the Cadillac of small planes. We update our fleet every 2 years, so you'll always be flying in the latest aircraft. We offer an administrative option as well, also a maintenance option if you'd like to work on aircraft. We do have one of the top 3 programs in the country, and every year we do go up against the best, Embry-Riddle, University of North Dakota, Ohio State, and we've typically finished in the top 3. We've won 3 national championships. So again, if you're looking to fly, we have one of the premier programs here in the state. We also have been designated as an air traffic controller school. So this is an add-on program. So if you're majoring in something, but then you think, wow, maybe I'd like to become an air traffic controller, you can start your training at Western before going on to Oklahoma City to completing that. So that will be available for students starting this fall. This is our College of Education and Human Development. So if there are any teachers out there, this is the program for you. Secondary, elementary, special ed, and physical education. Also, we have some of our non-teaching minors. Exercise science, athletic training, dietetics, food service and administration, interior design, and textile and apparel studies, which for us is fashion design, fashion merchandising. The engineering and applied sciences, if you're interested in getting into engineering, mechanical, electrical, aeronautical, paper science and engineering, which is unique to Western. We have the only university in the country where you can take it all the way from the finished product, from the pulp to the finished product right on our campus. Every 2 years we do the solar car race, so the students build the car right alongside the professor. The last time we competed, we won the award for best solar car design. So typical class size, 20 to 25. You definitely will have a hands-on approach so that you can apply what you're learning in the classroom. The College of Fine Arts, if anybody's looking to major in music, dance, or theater, you have to apply to Western, you have to apply to the College of Fine Arts, and you have to go through an audition process. It is a very competitive program. In addition to that, all of our programs are accredited music, dance, and theater. So that's good to know if you're choosing a program, but that does, again, make it even more competitive. If you're looking at the School of the Art, it is also a 2-tier process. So if you're thinking of graphic design, art history, or art education, you apply to Western, you apply to the School of the Art, you go through a portfolio review. Now the auditions and the portfolio reviews are also an opportunity to get a scholarship. So again, you're not just auditioning for a possible spot, but for a possible scholarship as well. The Hayworth College of Business, I heard someone mention that they wanted to go into marketing. That's where you would find our marketing program. The Hayworth College of Business has a pre-business curriculum, which comprises your first 2 years in the business program. So if you don't know what area of business you want to go into, this is great because the pre-business curriculum is very broad in nature. So you'll be touching on accounting, finance, marketing, and then prior to your junior year is when you'll have to make that decision about what area of business you want to go into. And let me say that at OCC, they have the complete pre-business curriculum. So if you wanted to pick up your pre-business curriculum at OCC, then transfer to Western prior to your junior year, you could do that. So just something to keep in mind. The College of Health and Human Services, I heard someone mention nursing. This is where you'll find our nursing program, speech pathology and audiology, the occupational therapy program, and social work. Now, the occupational therapy program and speech pathology are master's level programs, but we list them here because there, of course, is the bachelor component. The occupational therapy program is a 4+1 program. So at the end of 5 years, you would have your master's degree as opposed to 6 at some universities. So you actually would start working on that master's program in the 5th year. We also have a physician's assistant program. The healthcare field is one of the fastest growing in the country. So if you're looking at something in healthcare, it's a good place to be. There is a need for physician's assistants as well as doctors and of course nurses and OTs. We are also in the process of getting a medical school off the ground. Some of you may have heard that we got a $100 million cash contribution to building the medical school at Western. And we hope to have that up and running in either 2013 or 2014. So it's going to be all privately funded. There will be no tax dollars going to the medical school. So you would also be able maybe to get your medical degree at Western Michigan. The Lee Honors College is for those of you who might want a little more of an academic challenge. It also further personalizes the universities. Typically, you'll get an invite to the Lee Honors College. But if you didn't get an invite and you think you might want to be a part of it, then certainly you are encouraged to apply. If you do come and compete for the Medallion Scholarship, you automatically will get an entree into the Lee Honors College. It is one of the oldest in the state. The honors facility is being expanded this year, so because of the desire for more students to get into honors education. And lastly is our program for those of you who don't know what you want to do. On the application, it's called University Curriculum. But really what it is exploratory advising. The advisors will work to you to find out what your strengths are, where your interests lie, and help you choose a major. Because we realize it's a big decision. You want to get it right the first time if you can, because then that allows you to start working toward that major and get out in 4 years if your program is a 4-year program. So if you don't know what you want to major in and you do decide that Western is the choice for you, then go ahead and choose the university curriculum major. That will certainly help you make that decision about what it is that you would like to do. Okay? Any questions on any of the majors or programs that you've seen up here? Okay, alrighty. The next really big component, of course, is paying for college. Oh, there was a question. I'm sorry, where? Yes.
When you don't know what you want to do.
Right, exactly.
You want to know where your trust return.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you can do. Exactly. You can take what they call career battery tests, and these tests are aimed at trying to find out what your strengths are, and hopefully then driving you toward careers that will involve you with that strength in order, and that's what they're trying to do. Yeah, so they will work, yes, they will work very closely with you in terms of doing that. And you're not the only one. There's a lot of students. And while you may be undecided, you probably have some things going around in your head. So you're not totally clueless, but you just haven't really been able to zero in on that one thing that you think is going to work for you. So that's why we'll work with you and help you. In the meantime, you're taking your general education courses, getting those out of the way while you're trying to make that determination about a major. Okay? Were there any other questions? Okay. Just wanted to briefly talk about paying for college. That is also a big part of the whole selection process, but don't let costs stop you from trying to explore the college of your choice. Most schools will offer some kinds of scholarships. I mentioned our medallion. We do have other scholarships for incoming freshmen. At the close of this, we also put some sheets together that list what we call scholarship search engines. Now, there's money out there that goes untaken every year because students sometimes don't know where to look, or sometimes they don't take the time. This is not an easy process. You're not just going to go to that site and type in something and say, yay, hey, you got a scholarship. They're going to ask information of you. You may have to write an essay. But if you want to find money, there's money out there. We personally went to each one of these sites that we listed. And they are legitimate sites, and they do offer scholarships for students. Another area is fastweb.com, and maybe your counselors here have talked to you about that as well. That's where you go in, you set up a profile. It will tell you what scholarships you're eligible for, deadline dates, when to apply for those. You should be looking for scholarship money now. Okay, don't wait till your senior year. Go into those search engines and see what they're going to need and figure out when it is that you can apply for those scholarships. Some of them are based on whether or not you're left-handed. Could have something to do with your last name, believe it or not. Sometimes it's about the state that you live in. We had one student who had asthma. Guess what? He wrote to the company who made his asthma medication. They gave him a scholarship when they told him that he was going on to college. So you just never know where money might be found. Now, fees will vary. At Western last year, for tuition and fees for a year, it was $8,000. The room and board depended on what meal plan that you chose. The average one was a 15, meaning 15 trips to the cafeteria each week. That was $7,700 a year. So just for those two things, you were looking at just over $1,500. Now, as you go up the ladder, you could pay a little bit more. At State, you're probably going to be paying about $17,000. At Michigan, probably close to that as well. Now, our tuition and fees, our tuition rate has not been set yet. We're waiting for the state to tell us what we're going to be getting before we'll know that. I can tell you that tuition and fees will be going up for the class of 2012. We just don't know how much that's going to be yet. Once we do have that information, we'll let you know. You should make sure when you become a senior, after January 1, you want to fill out what they call the FAFSA. How many of you know what that is? The FAFSA. That's the federal application for student aid, and it's free. That's what you have to remember. It's a free form. You go online. Even if you haven't figured out where you want to go to college, guess what? If you fill the FAFSA out online, you can send it up to 6 different institutions. So if you have not decided where you want to go online, you and your parents fill that out, and then put in those 4, 5, 6 schools that you're looking at. Once they get that information, they'll work on what they call an award package to let you know what kind of financial aid you could be eligible for. Pell Grant money, if that program continues, and there is some doubt, but if it continues, it's a federal program. And that would be the first thing they would look at. Secondly would be loans, and then the third type of financial aid, typically college work study. You get a job on campus, they pay you every 2 weeks. The money you earn you can use towards your fees. But you also, in addition to the financial aid, you want to look at scholarships and what universities have to offer. We have the medallions. Central has the Centralis. University of Michigan has one. Michigan State, Eastern has one that you compete for. Then the private schools automatically give you scholarships based on your GPA and grade point average. They typically cost a little more. I was talking to the rep from University of Detroit Mercy. For their students last year was $32,000 to go to college for 1 year. But they package scholarships based on your GPA and your ACT. So again, that's information that you need to get out and get. But start doing some of your scholarship prep now. And those search engines that I had listed will help you find some money. It's going to be expensive, but there is money that goes untaken every year. So I'm sure we're probably getting toward the end of your time. If I can impart one thing to you, the admissions process is the big part of it. Okay, find out what the requirements are for each of the schools that you're looking at. We can also look at senior year work. So if your junior year work wasn't quite up to par, or maybe the light bulb just went off and you decided, oh shoot, I want to go to college, got to get my grades up, then we can look at your senior year work. So that's why it's important to continue to work hard. But you want to go to that admissions page, find out what the criteria is, find out when the deadline is, and get your information in. We do not require an essay at Western, but a lot of universities do. So you're going to have to write that college essay. Let me just say one thing to you. If you write one essay for 5 schools, remember to change the name of the school. Okay, I got an essay the other day. Yes, I was on your campus and I just really loved Central and I really like to come. Okay, well I hope you sent that on to Central. Okay, so if you're doing one essay for a number of different schools, remember to go in and change the school. Also, have someone proof that essay. I can't tell you how many times I have read an essay where a sentence wasn't complete, where they started a thought, then something else came up, misspellings. You're trying to put your best foot forward here for that university. You don't want to send that kind of essay to the school. So have someone look it over. If your teacher has the time, if your mom or dad has the time, even a fellow student. But proof your essay before you send it out. Okay, because really that says a lot about you and your preparation for getting on to college. Okay, so that's the most important thing, finding out the deadlines, getting your application in on time. Okay, and then the other part of that, visit. Okay, we offer tours all year round, so if you want to come during the summer months, you can. Then we offer other programs for seniors, so if you want to come back a second time, there's nothing wrong with getting on a campus a second time. But you definitely want to get there that first time. So you can either sign up for a visit on the web, or you can call the office, and every college and the university in the country offers time to visit their campuses. So that's the other important piece. In the meantime, just have fun also during your senior year. If you can get all this stuff out of the way early, then you can go on, have fun, worry worry about the prom, the senior picture, the senior trip, and those kinds of things. But in the meantime, get that work done, get it out of the way, try to narrow your choices down in terms of the admissions process, okay? Are there any questions for me? Okay, well, thank you all very much for your time. I will be at the college night next week.
Okay, everybody, just have a seat for a second. Just one more. Just one more second. Before you, as you exit, there is a handout that you definitely need to get from the counselors. Ms. Huron, Ms. Pryor will be helping hand them out there. It's explaining everything that you need to do. So it's compiled from questions that we get from students all the time. And so we're answering those questions for you so you know how to navigate your college visits, which if you go onto any college's website right now, they have days set up where you can click on it, go, it's free, you get tours, you get to eat there, you get to check out the dorms, talk to students, find out what the real deal is, sit in on classes. It's the best way to know if in fact that college is a good fit. Western's an awesome school. Western might not be the best fit for all of you, and the only way you're gonna know that is if you get onto their campuses, and now's the time. September, October, November, that's getting late for that. So make sure that you take care of these things now through the summer, so in the fall, you're ready to go with your applications. So, when you leave here, please pick up the packet from Milford High School. There's information out there from Western if you're interested in Western, okay? So take that if you're interested in Western, otherwise just take the Milford High information. If you have questions, sign up to see your counselor. Thank you, you are free to go.